In Luke 18:13, Jesus continues, "But the tax collector stood at a distance and dared not even lift his eyes to heaven as he prayed." Have you seen those social media videos of dog owners scolding their dogs after the animals have knowingly violated their training? Maybe the dog tore the stuffing out of a pillow, or maybe the dog got into some forbidden food while the owner was away from the house. But the dog knows it and will not look the human in the eye. I mean, dogs have a conscience. Cats are like, yeah, what about it? Clean up that mess and serve me some dinner, maybe I'll let you live. You've seen people lift their eyes to heaven to pray. Most of us don't do that. Some of us do it in private, don't do it in public, but we've all seen someone do that. This man did not feel worthy to lift his eyes toward heaven. And he kind of felt the same way about the Pharisee. He didn't get anywhere close to the Pharisee because he didn't think highly of himself. And the next sentence reads, later in verse 13, "Instead, he beat his chest in sorrow, saying, 'Oh God, be merciful to me, for I am a sinner.'" In the Beatitudes, Jesus once said, "Blessed are those who mourn." And a lot of people look at that and say, why would Jesus say that? I think this is the kind of mourning that Jesus was talking about when he said, "Blessed are those who mourn." Blessed are those who mourn over their own sin. And look, friend, if you're one of those people, you're just trying to take some steps toward God, you're trying to figure out how the whole God and you thing would look. If you've ever wondered how to do that, this is a very good template to follow. Anyone who comes to God saying, "I'm a sinner in need of mercy. I'm not coming to try to tell you how worthy I am, God," that's a good start with God. And the Bible promises that we will find mercy when we come to God like that. Well, what Jesus said next just blew the people away who were listening to him. It was so outside their paradigm, it seemed outrageous. Jesus said this in verse 14, "I tell you, this sinner, this tax collector, not the Pharisee, not the religious guy, not the religious leader, not the one that everybody sees obeying all the rules, returned home justified before God. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted." Do you see how important it is for us to develop the right kind of confidence? Because if you develop the wrong kind of confidence, that artificial, counterfeit confidence, Jesus is saying God will humble you. But you develop the right kind of confidence, the kind that is dependent on God for your righteousness, and God will lift you up. He will bless you. The overconfident will be humbled. The humble can trust that God will elevate them and lift them up. The man who dedicated his life to religious perfection went home far from God. The one who came to God confessing his sins, thinking he wasn't worthy, went home united with God. You see, the right kind of confidence alleviates our insecurity. And that's what we all need.